Hey everybody, I'm Andrea. Welcome to In the Mix. And today I'm going to show you how to take that leftover turkey you had for Thanksgiving and use it in many different ways. So stay tuned, alright? Okay everybody, so yesterday was Thanksgiving and today I'm going to be taking our leftover turkey that we had. I'm going to show you how to take the turkey, maybe cut it up a little bit, add a little flavor to it, little cool things to it. It's called In the Mix, right? And turn it into a phenomenal recipe. Now, I have the turkey that we used. We had a client of ours that gave us a phenomenal fried turkey. If you never had fried turkey before, I recommend that you try it. It was so delicious. So if you see, I've taken my turkey. I've already kind of cut things out of it. I got the wings. I've already skimmed them down to the bones, right? But I pretty much broke the turkey down. I broke it down, and what I did was, I went ahead and broke the turkey down, and I put them in this container. They've already cut up what I need. Now some people, they like to take their turkey and they freeze their turkey. Okay, I've seen people freeze it for months at a time. So if you have a frozen turkey that you're going to use for Christmas, or you still want to use it for a week later or a few days later, take it out, unthaw the turkey. I'm going to show you how to make a phenomenal turkey noodle soup. I actually created the turkey and I made a really beautiful turkey gravy. All right, so I'm not going to show you guys how to make the gravy, but that will be one of my shows. I can show you guys how to make the gravy in the future. Today I'm going to just show you how to take your turkey, skim it down, add a few things to it, and create a really cool turkey noodle soup. All right, so let's get down to it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring some onions to the table. So I have an onion. I'm going to slice up a yellow onion. I'm going to chop up some onions for us. I have some celery already made, and I've also got some garlic as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and start chopping up those beautiful vegetables. So you want your onions to be pretty diced, as small as you possibly can get them. You don't want big pieces in your soup. So I like to take my onions and chop them very, very fine and dice them up really, really good. All right. Because when you put the onions with the other vegetables in the oil, you want it to saute very well. So you don't want big pieces in there. And I would say about a half of onion, either a half an onion or a quarter of an onion. You can take and you can chop it up really, really good, okay? All right, so I got my onion. Now I'm gonna put that in here. So you got some really, really nice onions. It could be yellow onion or white onion. Alright, so then I'm going to bring to the table some garlic, some fresh garlic. You can use minced garlic. We have some minced garlic already in the jar, but I like to take the garlic and to use some actual fresh garlic also too. Take the garlic pieces and you just kind of peel back the garlic pieces a little bit. And try to avoid not to cry because onions make you cry. I'll get about maybe like 2 garlic cloves. 2 small little garlic cloves, not that much. Because it's going to bring some flavor into your actual soup. Alright, so I'm just going to take a couple pieces of garlic. I'm going to bring in some nice fresh garlic on the table here. And you can dice it really, really fine. They always say the thinner the garlic, the better it'll be. It'll dissolve much faster into your food. So I take the garlic, I make it really, really thin and dice it very, very fine. Not to perfection, but just a little bit. So I have some garlic also too. I got some garlic in there. Now I want you guys to come over to the kitchen with me, because I'm gonna saute the vegetables. So when it comes down to the oil, you can feel free to use olive oil, you can use coconut oil. I like to use coconut oil. You take a little, I would say about a tablespoon of coconut oil, okay? Get that hot and stir it up on there. Then you wanna bring in all of your onions and your garlic. So bring all those into your skillet. Get that frying up really good. You can dice some celery as well. So you have some celery, dice up your celery. Bring the celery in the mix also too. It smells so good. We cooking up in here. We cooking up in here. Alright, so I'm going to simmer on some onions, celery, and some fresh garlic. Let that simmer for a little bit. Not too much, but just enough so that way it all kind of sets in together and it thins out. So not have it too high, but just a little bit. And I'm going to kind of toss it around a little bit as we go. In the meantime, while that's simmering, I'll make sure I have enough chicken. Alright, so I got my chicken here, my turkey. So while that's simmering, I'll make sure that I got my turkey, so I have enough turkey here. And what you can always do, I have these huge wings, right? You don't have to cut the wings, but you can take the wings and just go ahead, and if you want, maybe just take the bones off. If you're not going to use the dry parts of it, and maybe put that in your soup. So you know, if you notice, I skinned this little guy all the way down to the bone. So a lot of times, if you have turkey out for a while, it may dry out a little bit. Some parts may dry. So I may not use that part, but I want to use the good, nice, soft parts. So I'm going to take these actual drums and put those in there as well. Check on my vegetables, and it's smelling really good up in here. So I got the vegetables going. So in the meantime, while the vegetables are stirring and scissoring, I'm going to go ahead and add the noodles into the broth, okay? So you can use chicken broth, you can use beef broth. I like to use chicken broth with mine. And not all the chicken broth, so this here is about 48 ounces, 0.48 ounces. So you want to get enough in there so it's going to be able to cover the noodle. I'll probably use all this. Now if you don't have enough chicken broth, you can always add a little water to it as well. It'll always give it more. That was a squirt. Alright, so I got my chicken broth. And I'm going to go ahead and add the noodles to the chicken broth. So I have egg white noodles. You can use any types of noodle, but when you do chicken noodle soup or turkey noodle soup, you want to do noodles. Turkey noodle soup or chicken noodle soup is really good for the cold. So if you have a cold, you have a flu, this is a really good recipe to stay warm in the winter, stay in your house, and it'll help you with your cold and whatever you're dealing with, okay? It'll make you very, very warm. So let's go ahead and put this inside the pot. And I've already made my noodles. And you don't want to make your noodles too hard because, well, too soggy rather. Keep them kind of hard because they're going to have to boil again when you start building the actual soup. So my egg noodles are not that hard, or not that soft rather. So now I got that going, coming up on high a little bit. Let's go ahead and check on my vegetables. And if you see here, whoo, yes, honey, smells so good. So a lot of you guys don't know I'm from Alabama. Okay, I'm a southern girl from Alabama. I love to cook. And I told you, in the mix, you're going to get Southern home cooking, Southern home living. And this is my forte. I've been cooking since I was a little girl. My father owned restaurants in the South, and I love to cook. So this is like, I'm in my zone right now, okay? So that's almost done. Okay, that's almost done. Now, when you have chicken noodle soup or turkey noodle soup, you want to make sure you have some really good seasonings also, too. And other vegetables to go with the soup. So I'm going to use some sliced carrots. You can either take some raw carrots and peel them and slice them and put them in with your vegetables to sear it and to saute your vegetables. Or if you don't have any raw carrots, if you have it in the can, I take my sliced carrot in the can, and I don't use the sauce or the water, the liquid that's in the can. I like to drain it. So just drain it. Now I'm not going to put this in there until a little bit later on because I want to make sure that I have my actual vegetable sauteed, so they're almost done. And look at that, guys. Come on, look at this. See how nice and shiny they are? You know you're cooking really, really good sauteed vegetables when your vegetables are shiny. So they're almost done. And it's smelling good. It's smelling so good. And this recipe is a 20 to 30 minute recipe. I'm known for 20-minute meals. So you guys stay tuned because in the show, you guys are going to get some cool videos on how to make meals in 20 minutes. That's my forte. So this will take about 20 or 30 minutes to make. So I think that's actually done. So now that we sauteed it, let's go ahead and add it into the pot. Add that into the pot. And with soup, you know, you can pretty much add most what you want to have in a soup. Most people, they like to add sweet peas, green beans in soup. Get very creative because there's so many things you can add in your turkey noodle soup or vegetable noodle soup, whatever. So if you look at this, guys, look at that. Oh, it's that beautiful. Now I'm gonna bring this up a little higher, and I want this to boil. My goal is to have this boiling high. I'm also gonna go ahead and add my carrots because they're already in the can. They're already kind of soft, so I don't need them to boil too much. Let's go ahead and add the carrots. Now they add some really beautiful color. Look at that color. Oh yes, beautiful color to your pot. So you got the noodles in there. You have your vegetables. You have your carrots. You have your vegetable oil. Okay, so now I'm going to let that simmer just a little bit for right now because I want to get the flavor in there. And then I'll add the seasoning a little bit later. So I'm just going to cover it up with a pot cover and get that going a little bit higher there. Okay, and I want to show you guys what I made the other day. I didn't do a video on it, but I thought it was pretty cool because, you know, my husband loves rice and gravy. So I was able to really create a really cool rice and gravy recipe. Okay, so I took some gravy. Now with gravy, I'm going to show you guys a video next time on how to make homemade gravy. This is homemade gravy. This is a gravy I made. I added some turkey to it. It was a phenomenal breakfast meal, lunch meal, dinner meal. Add some rice to it and you're good to go. So really, really cool, simple recipes on how to take your leftover turkey from the holiday and turn into a really fantastic recipe or really fantastic meal, all right? So stay tuned, we're almost done, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys, so we're almost done, halfway there with our recipe on the turkey noodle soup. So let's come on over and you guys to check out how it's looking, what's it doing, and how it's cooking, okay? All right, so if you notice here, it's steaming up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasonings and flavor. Now, keep in mind, if you had a fried turkey, most fried turkeys are already seasoned. They stuff the turkey with as many seasoning as possible. So you don't have to put that much seasoning in your broth soup, okay? But I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning. I like to add a little bit of Lowry, seasoned salt, sea salt, some black pepper, and some oregano. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of like one of my bay leaves as well. If you have some thyme, you can put thyme in there. If you don't have thyme, you can substitute for a bay leaf. So put a bay leaf in there. That goes in there. Let's go ahead and add our seasonings. So just a little bit of pepper. And you can season it to taste. Season it to the taste that you want and not that much. I don't really measure my seasonings. They say that when you're from the South and you cook so much, you have to measure your seasonings. So I'm like a grandmama. I don't measure my seasonings. I know without a shadow of a doubt how it's going to taste. I know how I want it to taste. So I put just a little bit of everything in there. A little salt in there. I put a little sea salt. A little black pepper. Just enough to give it a little flavor. And you get that stirred around in there while it's boiling hot. That's going to add a little flavor to that. Now, another thing I want you guys to know. With your turkey noodle soup, if you don't have chicken broth already in a can or container, if you have the bunions, you guys know what bouillons are, or bouillons? So these bouillons are the best thing ever. They're chicken bouillons, they have beef bouillons, they come in like a little block. And so these are really, really good to use if you don't have chicken broth, okay? So the way this works is you take the bouillon, the cube, and you put it in about 4 cups of water. And let that sit, and you kind of mash up a little bit. Let that simmer into the water. That's your chicken broth. That's how that works. So if you don't have chicken broth, you can use a cube and 4 cups of water. Let it simmer. Let it dissolve the stuff in there, and that's your chicken broth, okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and add the turkey as well. So I'm going to add some turkey legs in here. That looks good. All right, guys, so you let that sit in there. a little bit. Now I don't have enough chicken broth in here, enough liquid. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to add a little bit of water as well. I don't want it to be too thick with no juice, no liquids. So keep in mind when you make egg noodle soup, the egg noodles drain the water. It soaks in the water. So you need to make sure you have enough liquid in your pot so they will constitute both things. So I'm gonna put more water in here. Now the more water that you put in your egg noodle soup or your turkey noodle soup, the less seasoning is gonna taste. So I added seasoning to it, but I added water now. So now that's getting pretty thick up in here, I may have to add a little bit more seasoning to my turkey noodle soup to give it more flavor because I added more water, okay? So, and that's here again, its own taste. Our turkey was already pre-seasoned. It tastes so amazing. It was a fried turkey. So I may not have to put too much seasoning in here, even though I added water. But after it simmers a little bit more, I'll be able to tell if I should add more seasoning in there or not. And you do the math. You can tell what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Especially, like I said, for example, if you are having like high blood pressure issues, you want to have low sodium, make sure that your chicken broth or your vegetable broth is low sodium, so you can avoid the high salt intake. And so when I cook, I'm always cooking for other people, not for myself. And so I want to make sure that my intake for salt, intake for peppers is at a balance, okay? So adding water to your food is always a good thing to kind of balance the seasonings off. If you ever get things too spicy or too hot or too salty, add water, all right? So we'll be back to you guys in a few minutes to check on the final touches of our turkey noodle soup. All right, guys, so the final moment is here. Let's check on the turkey noodle soup and let's see what's going on with it. All right, so as you see, all things are coming together, it's steaming. Like I said, you can season it to perfection. I'm gonna just do a little test taste to see how it's doing. And let's see what we get. It's really good. Now keep in mind, as you add more water or add more liquids, the seasoning dissolves. So in this case, I want to add a little bit more pepper to mine. My husband loves to season. My husband's a seasoning king, so he loves seasoning. So if it's not right, my husband will tell me it's not right. So you add a little bit more seasoning to it. Season to your taste, desired taste, to your desire, okay? And then once it's fully seasoned, you're ready to go. It's really, really good. Look at that, guys. Come here. Come close up in here. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at those carrots and that color and those huge drums. So keep in mind, like I said, you can add other things to it. This is my version of the turkey noodle soup. So now it's time to serve. Let's see how it looks. And that's a huge bone. But look at that. That is beautiful. And you know what? With these type of soup, I make a lot of soup. When I cook, I'm always making a lot of food. I make a lot of food because I have a big family and we love leftovers. So this type of soup, you can actually make it and you can have leftover. Put it in a huge bowl. You can freeze it up to a few days. And like I said, it's really good. It's really yummy. If you have a cold, if you're sick with the flu, very, very good. So Thanksgiving was just yesterday. We're in the holiday season. It's gonna get really cold and rainy out there. So if you want a good turkey noodle soup, check out my YouTube channel, okay? In the Mix. Let me know what your thoughts are. I wanna know when you make your turkey noodle soup, how did it taste? How did it come out? And your turkey will not be disappointed, okay? You're gonna love it. Your whole family will love it. My 20-month-old son loves turkey. He actually loves the noodles in the turkey noodle soup. But it's a great recipe, guys. So hope you enjoyed it. This is a 20 to 30-minute meal on how to take your leftover turkey and how to make a really cool recipe and many other things you can make also too. That was just one thing. So I'm excited you guys tuning in with me tonight. I'm having a great time, having a blast. If you like my channel, go and subscribe to our channel. Subscribe, go comment, like our posts, like our videos, and look forward to seeing you guys next time in the Mix.